Welcome to another edition of Bet with Bobano, Wednesday, August 14th. Ian Cameron solo today to get through the remainder of the MLB card. Actually, most of the MLB card is still in front of us. There's only a couple of afternoon games, everything else taking place tonight. We'll get to the remainder of the MLB card for this Wednesday in just a moment. But before we do that, here we have to talk about bitwallet.bet. I have partnered with BitWallet. It is a sponsor of the show. And it is a cryptocurrency sportsbook and casino. And I know people that have been investing in crypto over the years have been looking for a sportsbook option that they can use to bet on various sports using crypto. Well, now you have that availability and that option with bitwallet.bet. And if you click on the affiliate link to sign up for a brand new account at BitWallet, and there you see the link on the screen. It will be in the comments section of every video as well on this channel, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. You click that link, you will be able to get a 50% bonus on each of your first 3 deposits. So 3 consecutive deposits you make using cryptocurrency, you'll get 50% bonus with each of them. So basically 3 50% bonuses is what you will receive upon sign up, one with each of your first 3 deposits. So it's a great deal. You get NHL, NBA, college football, NFL, MLB, UFC, international sports. The whole variety of sports is available to wager on at BitWallet. Tons of great options for it's got a great live betting platform. It actually offers same game parlays in live betting, and there's not many books that will offer that, not as many. So that's a great perk of it. And the casino games, if you're interested in any of those, baccarat, blackjack, poker, you name it, live dealers, part of the casino portion of bitwallet.bet. So again, if you've been looking for a crypto sports book, here's the one you want to sign up with here, bitwallet.bet. Again, the affiliate link at the bottom of the screen, bitwallet.bet/affiliate/Ian. And again, you'll get a 50% bonus on each of your first 3 deposits at bitwallet.bet. All right. As for my own subscription, 6 months all sports at Dub Club, 10 more days for this offer. And then it is back to the regular price of $400. So again, 6 months, all sports, $400 down to $250 US. This offer remains in effect just for the next 10 days until August 24th, which is the first day of the college football season. That's when it goes back to the regular price. So if you have not signed up for it yet, you definitely want to do so in the next 10 days. To get that 6 months all sports subscription at Dub Club for $250 before it goes back to the regular price of $400. Of course, with 6 months all sports, it carries you through February 2025, the entire NFL and college football season, the rest of the CFL season, the rest of the MLB season, a good chunk of the NHL, NBA, and college basketball seasons coming up starting in October will be part of that. So well worth it. It's a great bargain offer. 22.2 units of profit in NFL and college football combined. So make sure you get on board. Just 10 days left for that 6 months all sports discount at Dub Club. The other options are the 1 month at $75 all sports, 3 months all sports $200, 1 year all sports $750. And again, all those Dub Club subscriptions are my full card, every bet, every wager, every day, in every sport. If you're looking for something more selective, a lower volume approach, top plays and best bets only in all sports, then SoBet is your option. SoBet, the link is there, $9.95 per month to get on board with SoBet with just the top plays and the best bets. All right. Now that all of that's taken care of, let's get into some baseball. We've got a game starting right now. I might have just thrown the first pitch. It probably did. Pittsburgh and San Diego. We've got Mitch Keller for the Pirates, Martin Perez for the San Diego Padres. Pretty much we've got San Diego minus 130. Home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. I did bet a little Pittsburgh, a little over in this game. I don't trust Martin Perez for the Padres. I do like the way Keller's pitching. He's pitched better lately for the Pirates. I thought as a dog they were worth a small shot here in this game today. We'll see if that continues to be the case. But, I definitely thought that Mitch Keller definitely had an opportunity to pitch well here, maybe outpitch Martin Perez. a little bit. So do like the Pittsburgh side plus 120 here. Also did grab over. I got it at 8. I think it went up, but for me, a little Pirates and a little over in that game, which just has gotten underway between the Pirates and the Padres. All right, the rest of the games are tonight. We will go to Texas and Boston. Next up, Dane Dunning, Tanner Houck, the matchup. Boston minus 135, home favorites, 9.5 the total in this game. I'm not involved in this game, believe it or not. I cashed a ticket with the over last night. I don't feel like I want to run to bet the over here in this game tonight between the Rangers and the Red Sox. Houck, is a capable pitcher. Dunning, we'll see how he fares. But there is a wind blowing in tonight at Fenway Park, and that can sometimes, mitigate the potential for the ball to carry and get out of the ballpark. So that would be one of the concerns I would have with that. Nothing for me. I mean, the price is actually getting pretty cheap on Boston here with Houck, but I'm going to pass that game entirely when it comes to Texas and Boston. Next up, we've got Washington, Baltimore. Hurts versus Kramer, the pitching matchup. Baltimore minus 170, home favorites, 8.5, 9 the total. Dean Kramer's not in good form. He has not been in good form since the All-Star break. So this notion that Dean Kramer is this big-time bet-on pitcher, I certainly don't think that right now. And I'd certainly be concerned about what I am seeing here from Dean Kramer of late. Hasn't pitched great. I said on yesterday's show, and it was a beautiful result. Washington team total over. Washington was live, I thought, as a big underdog, plus money. Yesterday against Baltimore, they got the job done. They might be live again here. I mean, Dean Kramer's not in the form, and I said that about Trevor Rogers yesterday for the Orioles. Not in the form of a minus 170 favorite right now, and I feel that way about Dean Kramer today as well. So I would consider coming back to Washington again here in some form. I do like the full game over, though, as well. The one thing that does concern me about Hers here for the Nationals is he's a lefty. Orioles have been hitting lefties pretty well lately, so maybe they do have some damage against him. But I like over 8.5, and I think taking a small shot with a double dip to the Nats money line and maybe the Nats team total over 3.5 as well, just like yesterday, is worth a look as well. All right, next up we've got Seattle and Detroit. Brian Wu, Bo Brisky on the mound for their respective teams in this matchup. Seattle minus 140, road favorites, 8 the total. I like the Mariners in a bounce-back spot. They got clobbered last night by the Tigers. It was a terrible outing for George Kirby. I don't know what happened, but just a terrible showing for him last night. So he'll be looking to bounce back, or the Mariners, I should say, will be looking to bounce back. And they send Brian Wu, who's been one of their best pitchers this season, to the mound. He's been very consistent. The Mariners have won each of his last 4 starts. That's definitely something you want to see. So I think he's got it's the right guy on the mound in a bounce back situation. Not a big fan of Bo Brisky. He's a guy we're not going to probably see for very long. You're going to see a lot of relievers after him, maybe Alexander among others, but Brisky's not exactly a bet on pitcher to me. It's a nice little bounce back spot after Seattle gets absolutely embarrassed by the Detroit Tigers last night, 15-1. I think they bounce back strong. I don't lay road chalk very often, but thought laying the $135, $140 here with Seattle was worth it and worth a bet here in this game tonight. All right, next up, it is the Cubs and the Guardians. Jameson Taillon, Alex Cobb, the pitching matchup. Cleveland minus 135, home favorites, 8 the total in this game. Total's going down. I don't know about that. Taillon has been hit or miss lately. Cobb was not good in his last start, so we'll see how he fares here in this one. But I don't know if I trust either of these pitchers, and the total's down to 8 now. It was a low-scoring game last night. Maybe the bats get going a little bit, so the over to me is worth a look, I think, when it comes to the Cubs and Guardians there. All right, Houston and Tampa Bay. We've got a couple more 6:40 Eastern starts first. Miami and Philly. Edward Cabrera, Tyler Phillips here, the pitching matchup. Phillies minus 160, home favorites, 8.5 the total in this game. Marlins won last night. Marlins might actually be live tonight too. And let's start to have a real honest conversation right now about the Philadelphia Phillies. They're an overvalued team. They're still having an overall very good season, but you made money early in the year with Philly. April, May, even into June. You're not making money with the Phillies now. They've been overvalued for weeks. They've been losing as favorites. Of course, last night they get shut out 5-0. They've now lost 5 in a row. The offense has started to cool off a little bit. And if you actually look at Edward Cabrera, he's off back-to-back shutouts against Atlanta and San Diego, two pretty good teams as well, especially San Diego, the way they've been hitting, and he shuts them out in 7 innings in his last start. So let's give Edward Cabrera credit. The dilemma for me is he's got a terrible road ERA. He really does. He's been awful on the road. But we also have to remember that a lot of those starts were earlier when he wasn't pitching this well. He is pitching a lot better now, and his last 2 road starts, he only gave up 2 runs to Tampa, and he shut out Atlanta on the road his last road start. So he looks like a bet-on pitcher right now, Cabrera. His form's been good. I don't see anything I particularly like about Tyler Phillips here in the last 2 starts. He's been crushed by Seattle and the Dodgers, 12 runs in his last 6.2 innings allowed. This could be another live dog situation here with Miami. I'm certainly interested in taking a shot with the fish here at a plus price. Phillips is not in the form of a favorite of this magnitude in my mind. And the lineup for the Phillies has kind of gone downhill a little bit. So Miami might be live here in this one once again. It still might go over the total. 8.5 feels pretty cheap considering the concerns we have with Phillips and Cabrera's road track record, although Cabrera's form is good. So probably be some form of Miami, some form of over if I were to get involved with this one. St. Louis, Cincinnati, we've got Kyle Gibson on the mound for the Cardinals, and we've got Emilio Pagan on the mound here for the Cincinnati Reds, making a spot start. St. Louis -115, road favorites, 9.5 the total. I mean, Cincinnati, I like their momentum. They've won 3 in a row. They've closed the gap on the Cardinals, team they're trying to catch. Now, Kyle Gibson's pitched pretty good, 2 runs or less, 3 of his last 4 starts. That's definitely what you want to see as far as getting the job done. He pitched against Cincinnati last year in this ballpark and actually pitched very well. 1 run, 2 hits, 6 innings. Pagan's just going to give you probably, an inning or 2, and then it's pretty much going to be bullpen relievers by committee after that for Cincinnati. But so I don't really love this, trusting the Cincinnati bullpen for 9 innings, but I don't like what I'm seeing out of St. Louis. I don't, and I'm not endorsing them as road favorites. But I'm not on Cincy. I liked Cincy a lot yesterday with Hunter Green. They got it done for me. I would lean Cincy again, but I'm not on them today. This one's a pass for me. All right, next up, Houston, Tampa Bay. Ronel Blanco, Zach Little, the pitching matchup. Houston -120 road favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. Blanco, I think it's actually a nice little bounce back spot, in my opinion, here for Houston after coming up short yesterday in that. I beg your pardon. They came back and won that game 3-2. Forgot they were down, but they came back and they won by a score of 3-2. They're looking for the sweep. We'll see how Blanco fares. Last 2 starts, he's been better after a little bit of a rough patch there in July. On the flip side, you got Zach Little. Not a big fan of Zach Little, although I will say he did pitch well against Houston when he faced them earlier this month in Houston. But now you're getting a second look. The Astros are finding ways to win. They've now won 7 in a row. And just like I said about the Astros yesterday, teams on a winning streak, I either bet on them or I pass. And for this particular game, I think at -120, the price is cheap enough to take Houston here in this one. All right, we continue along here. We've got Oakland taking on the New York Mets. We've got Estes on the mound for the Oakland Athletics and David Peterson here for the New York Mets. Joey Estes, David Peterson. Mets -220, home favorites, 8 the total. I mean, boy, you're talking about the Mets being a big favorite here when we saw them now lose 4 in a row, lose the first game last night against Oakland 9-4, and now we're going to trust them as a -220 favorite. Not me. I do not trust the New York Mets here, favored in this kind of price range. So when you look at this particular game here, probably have to take a shot with the big dog or nothing. And I will say this about Joey Estes. Last 3 starts, he's given up 2 runs or less, 2 runs exactly in each of his last 3 starts. And one of those was against the Dodgers, not an easy lineup to face. So, it just looks once again at this point in time like an overpriced favorite. Now, I do like Peterson overall in the way he's pitched. I will say that. And he feels like he might be a guy you want on the mound here if you're the Mets. 3.34 ERA overall on the season, 6-1 record. He has pitched pretty well. But it's a pass for me. I think if you're going to take anything here with this money line price, I mean, you got to take Oakland. You cannot lay a price of this magnitude right now with the New York Mets. All right, next up as we continue along, it is LA Dodgers, Milwaukee Brewers. We've got Walker Buehler on the mound for the Dodgers. Frankie Montas for Milwaukee. Dodgers minus 120, road favorites, 9 the total. Obviously, Walker Buehler has been an ace in the past, and since returning to this Dodgers rotation, an ace he has not been. It's pretty tough to watch, actually, what this guy's gone through. He's worked his ass off to get back in this rotation for this team, and he's just had a tough time. I mean, that's all you can say. And it's not going to get any easier here tonight against this Milwaukee Brewers team. But Buehler with a 5.84 ERA, a 9 ERA this season. In 16 innings on the road, he's given up 17 runs. So it has been a tough stretch and a struggle here for Walker Buehler. On the flip side, we've got Frankie Montas. Hasn't been great. I mean, he got roughed up there in the month of July. He's been a little bit better in August, but still not great. I mean, 3 runs in 5 innings against against Washington. 3 runs, 2 hits, 4 innings against Atlanta. Labored in both of those games. By the way, 5 straight starts for Frankie Montas have gone over the total. So over's the way I would go probably in this game. Over 9 minus 120 Dodgers Brewers. Expect runs in this game. Don't trust Buehler right now. Montas, I think, Dodgers don't match up too badly against him right now. So I think when I look at this matchup here, we should see the Brewers able to score some runs. I do believe we should be able to see the Dodgers be able to match them as well. So over 9 is the way I would go here with the Dodgers and the Brewers. All right, we've got the New York Yankees taking on the Chicago White Sox. Will Warren taking the mound here for the New York Yankees in this one. And we've got Davis Martin for the Chicago White Sox. Yankees minus 230, road favorites, 9 the total. Another over probably for me. Will Warren's not been very good for the New York Yankees, and that's an understatement. 11 ERA for him pitching for the New York Yankees. He started 2 games. He's given up 12 runs in 9 innings for the New York Yankees. Dreadful. Horrible numbers. Horrible. Awful for Will Warren. Now, the one thing you have to be concerned about here is the White Sox sometimes make even the worst pitchers look good. Hopefully tonight's not one of those nights, but you would think the door's open for the White Sox, even the White Sox lineup, to be able to do some damage here in this one. Davis Martin is a guy that didn't pitch well against Minnesota. He pitched a lot better in his last start against Oakland. But you're putting him up there against a pretty good New York Yankees lineup, a Yankees team that, for the most part in the last month, they've gotten their bats going again. We'll see if that can carry over here into this game. But definitely I think the Yankees can do damage. Chicago can finally do a little damage against, one of the worst statistical pitchers starting on this MLB card here tonight in Will Warren. So I'm going to go over 9 here, minus 120 with the Yankees and the White Sox here tonight in this one. All right, just a few games left. Toronto Blue Jays, LA Angels, Jose Barrios, Tyler Anderson on the mound. We've got the Angels minus 115, road home favorites, 8.5 the total. So I know the Angels are trying to avoid a home sweep, and the long-term angle in baseball that's often profitable is bet on the team looking to avoid a home sweep, and usually you're going to cash a ticket. I don't give 2 shits about that angle, quite honestly. I can't lay a price with the Angels right now as favorites. I won't do it. They are not a team I have any interest in backing as favorites. Just look at the last 4 times they've been favored. The Nationals twice over the weekend, they lost both games. They were favored against the Nats. First 2 games here against Toronto, they were favored. Slight favorites, but they were favorites, and they lose both of those games. Now they're favored again. I know Tyler Anderson, the veteran lefty, has been serviceable for the Angels, but his lineup is putrid. I don't know if he's going to get the run support. And Jose Barrios on the mound for the Blue Jays, coming off a good performance against Oakland, 1 run, 6 hits, 7 innings. Jose Barrios will struggle against some of the better lineups, but you put him up there against some slumping lineups and weaker, feeble lineups like the Angels, he can do well. They would be Toronto or nothing. I'm not betting Toronto because of the sweep angle. but I'll tell you what, I want no part of the Angels right now. So by default, this would be bet Toronto, or you don't bet the game at all. And by the way, keep an eye on this Will Wagner right now for the Blue Jays. He has been called up to this team, and in the first few games, he's like destroying the baseball. And you could get his home run prop like at plus 750 tonight. He's going to hit one sooner or later. He actually had a couple of very extra base hits. One of them hit the wall last night in the game. He's coming close to hitting a home run, and he's just on fire. Like, pitchers can't get him out right now. So Will Wagner, if you're looking for a bargain bin home run prop tonight, to hearken the Ice Guys show where we do the bargain bin special. If you're looking for a bargain bin home run prop tonight, maybe Will Wagner worth a shot here for Toronto, because this guy is just scalding hot right now, just crushing the baseball since he's been called up to the big leagues. All right, final game of this Wednesday slate. It is Atlanta and San Francisco. Grant Holmes on the mound for the Braves, and we've got Robbie Ray for the San Francisco Giants. San Francisco minus 130, home favorites, 7.5 the total in this game. You know, San Francisco's let me down twice. They've just really, really frustrating. I mean, they've 2 extra innings losses in a row for the San Francisco Giants. 4-3 last night, 1-0 the night before. Can they get to Grant Holmes? They could. They should. 0-3 in his last 3 starts, and kind of feels like a good spot. And again, another home team trying to avoid a sweep. But I'm not big on Robbie Ray still. I'm not. I've got to see more. I think he's been okay. But, I thought I had better pitchers with San Francisco to back the last 2 nights than Robbie Ray, and they still didn't get the job done. They still lost. So I'm not involved tonight. Pass for me on this game. Total is even tricky because I'm not a big Holmes fan. I could make a case for the over, but, we've seen 2 unders in this series. Atlanta's not hitting consistently. Even San Francisco, they've cooled off at the plate. So just a pass all around. I would lean San Francisco, but I am not going to bet this one here tonight. All right, there you go. That is the Wednesday MLB card. Hope you enjoyed it. Shout out to everyone tuning in. I apologize. I just realized now this show's only on YouTube today. Normally, I also stream it live to Twitter, X, and Facebook. I forgot to put the links to Twitter and Facebook as well. So apologies there. So this show is only on YouTube today. So make sure you're obviously, if you're watching now, you're on YouTube, but my apologies there. Next show tomorrow, we will get it back on Twitter, X, and Facebook as well, simultaneously, like usual. But shout out to Timothy, Gold Jew, Al, everyone in the chat, hit the like button. Yeah, that's a good point that Al makes. I mean, Jordan Addison, another disaster at training camp and practice preseason here for Minnesota. I mean, they already see J.J. McCarthy's season done. Now Jordan Addison, maybe a serious injury. The 1B to Justin Jefferson's 1A at receiver. They've had, cornerback injured. They've had some off-field issues with certain. I mean, it's just been a horror show of a preseason here for the Minnesota Vikings, and it certainly didn't get any better here today with the news of Jordan Addison. That is for sure. All right, best bet. Cashed it yesterday. Texas, Boston, over the total of 10. We got there with it. Let's see if we can cash another best bet here tonight on this edition of Bet with Bobano. Let's go to Washington, Baltimore, over 8.5, minus 125. Kramer's not been good. Kramer's got a 5+ ERA since the All-Star break. He's not in good form. Washington should be able to do some damage. The one thing about Hers, though, for Washington on the mound is he's a lefty, and even though he's been some good, some bad, Baltimore's been hitting lefties pretty good. So they might have a chance to do a little bit of damage here in this game tonight. I expect a high-scoring affair at Camden Yards. Washington, Baltimore, over 8.5, minus 125. We'll roll with that for my Wednesday best bet. All right, great stuff. Shout out to everyone. Ian Cameron's Football Frenzy CFL Week 11 edition will be posted tonight on the channel, so make sure you tune in for that. We got more football preview videos coming up later this week as well. I'm Ian Cameron. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the games and good luck. Bet like Tony Soprano. Bet with Bobano. And we'll see you again tomorrow on Thursday for another edition of Bet with Bobano.